Hello, friends. This whole morning I've been trying to get this done, but this dude, listen, it's taken me a long time to get this video to you, and I'm sorry. It's because Sparrow was sick, then I was sick, still kind of getting over it. Now this dude's sick, and yeah, the whole past week we've had sick babies, sick people in the household. So I'm gonna be short and sweet and to the point with this, because mom life is just getting in the way of everything today. I'm obviously very behind on things. Did you smear my lipstick? Oh my god. So what you're about to watch is a interview that I did with Tracy Reed and her daughter Caroline Reed. Tracy was at one point the top seller in the company, and she'll get into it, tell you all the details about it, because it's not exactly what it seems. It's not as prestigious as it seems. I hope you all really like this interview. It really opened my eyes to a lot of things that have been going on in paparazzi for the past however many years they've been open. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that I've had beef with paparazzi for a while, and I talk about that in the interview too. Long story short, I had no idea that things were this bad, and Tracy really spills some mother effing tea. I do want to say real quick though, is that this video was filmed the day before my previous video that came out last week, the 3-hour mediating situation. Hi, Pop-Tart. So there is some talk about Patty, some familiar names there too, but anyway. So do please enjoy this interview with Tracy and Caroline. It's very interesting, and I hope you all enjoy it. Here we go. I mean, we can get started before she comes down.
I was going to say, we're cool whenever you want to do it. I want to tell you a funny story.
Yes, tell me.
They're going live every day and they're having Bible study in there.
I heard people saying that.
Strange.
What the hell, man? Yeah, and
I
that's
think
like a thing that they're all doing too, right?
all these elites. I can't speak to the entire company, but the company hasn't put any kind of stop to it. Because somebody said, why are you doing this? Isn't against compliance. And I literally have a screenshot of a girl saying, no, it's not against compliance. It's fine.
I mean, I wouldn't think so, because they're Christian too, right? Or are they Mormon or what?
They're Mormon. They're LDS. We've had no less than 6 people tag us in videos today where people are proselytizing on Facebook about how great she is in this. She's an angel on earth, and they're warriors of God, and they're not afraid of us. Like we're in a war. We're not just trying to raise awareness of paparazzi's unethical behavior. Now we're actually at war with God. I wasn't sure if you knew we were against God.
Oh, no.
I just wanted to let you know in case you know.
It's either paparazzi or God. There's no in between.
Yeah.
So I guess one place to start would be, walk us through your story. How did you get started in paparazzi? How long were you involved?
All right. So when I say I signed up to be a paparazzi consultant in September of 2017.
Wow. Okay.
I write romance novels is one of my side hustles.
That's so cool.
So I was supposed to be at a book signing at this it's a winery in Kentucky. They were having a book signing for local authors to come, trying to draw new traffic in. The day ended up being a complete washout, and I could not get my car up their little farm road to the facility. So I'm on the Facebook page trying to contact the organizer to tell her I'm not going to make it. And one of the ladies that was set up vending was selling $5 jewelry. And I thought, well, that's cute. If my kid was here, she'd be all excited because she was 13. I'm like, okay, I'll look. I didn't make it to the event. I went home. I'm cruising the page, and I saw she had a link. I clicked her link, and it took me to her replicated website. So I looked at the stuff, and I thought, that's cute. The page said 35 pieces for $99. And I'm okay. Kit. You got to get a kit. No big deal. I've kidnapped before. My girlfriend sold Pampered Chef. I bought a Pampered Chef kit. My one friend sold Unique. I had a Unique kit. I didn't care about kidnapping. I wasn't intending to start anything. Bought the kit.
Dang.
120 pieces.
And I thought, this is great. It's almost Christmas. I can give it to my friends. Everybody likes jewelry. Like, you're always trying to find things for your friends. You're like, jewelry, that seems cute, right? My mom likes it. My grandma likes it. We're cool. I'll get rid of this. It'll be no problem. Not 2 hours later, I get a text message from a number I didn't recognize. Well, it's my upline.
Oh no.
She's like, hi, I don't know you, but you just joined my team. I said, yes, I did buy a kit. I'm interested in trying out the jewelry. Thanks for contacting me. Thank you for the welcome, a warm welcome. I was just trying to say something nice. I don't know this lady, and I'm thinking, well, at least she reached out to say hello. I've never purchased something from somebody I didn't know. And this, you know what I mean? Everybody else's was somebody I knew. So they didn't reach out like that. She's like, well, I'm going to add you to the group. I'm going to friend you on Facebook. I'm going to add you to this group and my upline's group and my upline's group and all the way. And I'm like, girl, that's okay. I told her, you know what? Thank you for the warm welcome. That's fine. I said, we're really just buying this to give it a try. I'm going to hold off on all the group ads. We'll let you know. But I friended her on Facebook. She seemed like a nice person. And back then I was very busy in the book world with my other friends and going to events. And I didn't pay much attention to who was my friend and who wasn't on Facebook. And then I got this bright idea that I was going to buy some of this jewelry for my next book event. I was headed this big book event in November that was going to have like 10,000 women out. It was this big, huge event in Las Vegas. And I thought, you know what? All these girls give out bookmarks and pins with their name on it. I'm going to get jewelry. These women will put this on and they'll wear it around. And I'll get a charm with my name on it. And I'm going to get a book charm and I'm going to put it in this pack. And they're going to wear this bracelet around. Everybody's going to remember my book title. Because if you're there with like 500 other authors, anything that you can get that people will remember. So that's my bright idea. I try to get on the website and see what they have. They've got these leather bracelets that snap. I'm trying to buy 500 of them because that's how much minimum swag you have to go to this event. I can't buy 500 of them. So I call. I want to place an order, but the website won't let me. She said, well, what are you trying to get? And I said, this pink double snap bracelet. Item number, blah, 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 blah. She goes, okay, well, how many would you like? I said 500. She says, well, may I ask why? And I said, going to an event. She's like, well, let me check. So she puts me on hold and she comes back and says, we'll allow it.
We'll allow it. So you didn't go into it even wanting to sell it. You were wanting to give it to your friends and family and then your book people.
I just thought Caroline is allergic to nickel. We cannot find cute jewelry that does not make this child's ears feel like they're on fire. This says it's nickel free. It's much cheaper than Claire's boutique at this point. And I'm thinking we have found a product that will help solve a problem. I liked that lashy mascara with the extensions too until they changed the formula. Like when I bought something from a network marketing company, it was usually because I liked the product. Like I liked Pampered Chef. I just didn't want to buy 8,000 stone pizza pans. So like I didn't enter that as a career. I just bought it for the discount. The Unique, I got it for the discount. This, I thought I was getting it for the discount. I'm like, $275 is pretty cheap, right? For a gift or for swag. Like custom made swag is expensive.
Well, so let me ask this, because it doesn't Paparazzi, like in their policies and procedures, don't they say you have to sell it for $5? Like, do they have anything that's like you can't give it away, right? Or can you?
Okay, you can give it away. You can give it away all day long.
Oh, okay.
You just can't sell it for less than $5.
Oh.
So she didn't have a problem with me marketing their product for free.
She's just like, all right.
What I did not understand is that I had intended to get a custom made book charm to hang off this bracelet, and that is not allowed. You are not allowed to alter the jewelry. So when that came and I was made aware, because I was just talking about what I was going to do, and somebody let me know, oh, no, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, what? I bought this. What do you mean I'm not allowed to do it? What? Well, as a current consultant, you're not allowed to alter the jewelry in any way, nor can you encourage alteration.
What?
So this was my first run-in with policies and procedures.
And it was like right off the bat.
So I didn't take it to the event and I didn't give it away. And downstairs in my basement are the remaining like 117 of the original 500. They're still for sale on my website. I couldn't give them away, so I didn't use them. Like I'm never going to get rid of those pink bracelets. Never.
What would they have done? Just dropped you as a consultant or?
Yeah,
okay.
It would have dropped me as a consultant. But at the time, it wasn't even in my mind that I should be pushing back, that somebody's telling me what I can and cannot do with this, because Caroline, my daughter, Caroline, had expressed interest in doing the business. Like she was excited about it and interested. And we had just pulled them out of school and brought them home to do online school. She kind of lost all of her activities. And I was trying to think of something to do as a family that would be kind of educational and fun. Jewelry's fun. I kind of looked at this as a way to teach my kids business. So she was interested and I thought, okay, well, if we're going to do this and she's interested, I'm all for that. I'm trying to get my kid interested in business. That's great. She's excited. She likes the product. We had done a few live shows where a friend of mine that sold LuLaRoe had shared us to her group. See, I was just in this group of people that had these businesses and I tried to support, right? You try to support your friends, but she had been really sweet. And then when I started selling this jewelry, she put Caroline and I on in her VIP group and let all her LuLaRoe friends buy jewelry from us. So that was how our business started. That's how we had any marketable business at all. We went live on Facebook like she did, and she shared us to all her LuLaRoe friends. So then we had a business. People were buying from us. And that's what I thought would be kind of the extent of it. Like we would market to the people that did that. She would share us. We would share her. Then I found out I wasn't allowed to do that because Paparazzi does not allow you to mention any other brand while you are showing their product. I mentioned that my friend had a LuLaRoe business and I got suspended.
Oh my God.
I got suspended until I took the offending video down.
So you can't even be supportive of other people in your life doing their side hustle.
No, people have been canceled for posting their children's Girl Scout cookies on their social media page, selling their own car, mentioning that they had stuff on Marketplace when they were having, instead of a yard sale, they were selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Can't have a
listing
yard
your
sale.
own home for sale by owner. All of these things were found to compete as a product or a brand.
Oh my God.
I kept going with it with no intention of having any large business or making some big side hustle out of it because I thought it is interesting to my kids.
Yeah.
So we joined in September. The box came in October. I already got told I couldn't do anything with the big box of bracelets I bought. They came before the kid even did. The kid shows up. It's cute, whatever. We go live. We start getting some interaction on Facebook. It's fun. Black Friday rolls around. They've got all these extra pieces in their jewelry kits. And I'm like, you know what? You kids are excited. My husband was showing some interest. My son was showing some interest because Caroline's making money. She's 13 and she's making money. So we decided we're going to have a family business. We're going to get these kits and we're going to compete. And everybody's going to have their separate line of business and they're going to sell their product. They're going to pick what they want. They're going to market it. And then at the end of the school year, we're going to see who comes up with the most money, like a family competition.
That is so fascinating because you don't hear this kind of thing in MLM stories. Like, you just don't.
I have a weird way that I got in, but the way in still ended up in the middle of the cesspool. I buy a kit for my son, a kit for my daughter, kit for my husband. We're going to have this family competition. My husband's like, listen, I'm never going to do this. I'm like, that's fine. We'll take your jewelry and sell it. You lost. You're the first loser. You're out. We divvied up his inventory. It's like, it was a game, but like scavengers. We divvied up his inventory. Like, who's getting what? Who's going to sell what? Then my son's like, he's a Boy Scout. He's going to go to this jamboree and he's going to set up a table and he's going to sell this all outside. He knows all these moms, these Boy Scout moms are sick of watching these little wooden cars roll down that ramp. And he is sure they're going to buy all this stuff. Well, he didn't want to sit there. So guess what happened to him? He was done. He was out. No more. He's done. He's 11 and he's not interested. Plus he didn't want to go live. He's like, no. Okay. So the Boy Scout Jamboree's out. We're divvying up your jewelry like scavengers. So it's just down to Caroline and I. We're going live. We're selling. January rolls around. There's a contest. There's a contest to have a big fancy necklace named after you. The Z Model Contest. Rock the Runway.
They have that every year, right?
They do.
Okay.
It is an annual tradition. They've had it since, I want to say 2015.
No, it was earlier than that.
Probably
2013. 2013, yeah. I think it was maybe for a few years they got to walk the runway with the necklaces, but they didn't actually get the necklaces named after them.
Okay.
And
then
also,
eventually they
the
started naming them.
necklaces were never able to be sold or never able to.
So they got a weird history with this stuff.
Yeah, so what's the point then? Like a trophy?
Yes,
Yeah,
like a
it's
trophy.
Okay.
You could only get them at convention. You could pick these fancy necklaces up at convention, but you couldn't sell them. By the time it rolled around to us, the year before they had finally said, you can finally sell these now. So now we're going to launch them as a marketable line and you can sell them. They're naming them after consultants. 10 consultants get a fancy necklace named after them. January, this contest starts. We get to February, March, April, May. Okay. So we've been doing this together for about 6 months now. We're making a whole lot of headway, doing a lot of live selling, having a good time. I win this contest. I'm one of the 10 people that are going to rock the runway. Okay. But let's be real. Part of the reason why I was able to win this contest is because I was able to front load a whole lot of inventory because I was a person who owned a consulting firm and wrote books, had a whole lot of jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of Paparazzi was not my job. So I had money and a credit card that I could buy all this inventory up front because they told you in the rules of the contest were you got points based on how much jewelry you bought and how many people you brought into the company. Well, I was never a very good recruiter. I brought in five people, which was a lot for me.
It's a lot for most people.
2 of them were my relatives.
Well, still, I mean.
3 people who were customers of ours who just did it to help me, right? They just bought a kit like everybody else just to help you. $99. You got points just for bringing people in. It didn't matter how much they spent.
But the real points is the 8,072 pieces she bought that month.
I bought 8,072 pieces of jewelry.
Right. So, and that's the thing too, right? Is that Paparazzi doesn't actually track like how much of that you actually sell.
They do not track sales in the least. They track purchases.
What consultants are buying.
Because supposedly you get a replicated website where you can send people and they can shop on their own and the corporation will fulfill the orders. That's all good and well, but the way their inventory system runs, they release jewelry every day at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There's a piranha-filled feeding frenzy, and all of that new jewelry is almost all consumed.
And it's every single day?
Monday through Friday.
That is wild.
So they drop it, but there aren't very many of any singular item. So the items sell out because at this point they're at consultant ID 490,000 and something, which means that over the course of their 10 years, they started with number 1,000. They're at almost 500,000 humans who've signed up at some point. They're not all active, maybe 30 to 40%, but that's still 100,000 people trying to get maybe 25, 30,000 pieces. You know what I mean? It's just not this large volume. It sells out every day. So your replicated website is kind of a non-starter because unless people just don't care what they buy or don't have a real sense of style, there's jewelry on that website, but there's not much. So for 45 seconds to 5 minutes, there's, 16 pages of stuff. And then all of a sudden it starts selling out and it's back down to 6 or 7 pages of stuff.
Right, yeah. So you're better off shopping with a consultant live on Facebook or whatever, because they've got all the inventory.
It's true. The inventory goes out to the people every day. It's not available for the common shopper to use your replicated website. And I think that's where their business model really begins to prey on people's sense of fear of missing out. They really, really, really do the FOMO thing because it's only going to be released one time. It's never coming back. If you love this item, you will never see this again. We release it one time and one time only. It'll never be back. Okay. But that's not true either.
You were on Roberta Blevins' podcast, right? Was that you? Okay. Yeah. Obviously you watched LuLaRich then.
Yeah.
So good. But it's the same thing. They did the same thing in LuLaRoe. Obviously, they didn't give you a choice of what pieces you could pick. They just shipped you a box full of leggings, and that was that.
Just trust that it was coming and it came and you just got what you got. I considered joining LuLaRoe because of my friend, but when she told me she had no control over her choices, I decided not to. Listen, I got all kind of leggings.
How much money did you spend on LuLaRoe?
I don't know. It was in the thousands. Let's just say I bought a lot of clothes.
Probably 20 or 30.
I bought them for my kid, my mom, I bought everything from her trying to help her legitimately. It's not like we didn't wear it, but we were Saatchi clothes fans for quite a while. Let's say for the fluffy girl, that stuff's not that bad. I mean, it stretches around all your insecurities. Let's just say that.
I own a few pieces of LuLaRoe too. I bought them on eBay as a joke for a video like years ago, but I still have them because they're very comfortable.
Like if they're not ripped or shredded or just smelling like, what'd she say? Old, like moldy farts or something, they're comfortable.
Fart leggings or something, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If you give a step out. Dead fart.
Dead fart, yeah. I love her. The way they all talked about it in the documentary, it is all so similar to Paparazzi, minus the fact that at least with Paparazzi, you know what inventory you're buying.
That was the difference.
Otherwise, though, I don't think that that's enough to be able to like save them from being in the same boat as LuLaRoe now.
It's not. It's not enough to save them because instead of not giving you the choice, they tell you your choice is now or never. Now, right this second or never again. And it's very false because if you're there for any length of time, you see pieces rotate back in that are the quote unquote new releases that are exactly the same as pieces that came out months, if not a year or two before. So it's not actually true that they never re-release a piece. They do. And that's one of the things that is very bothersome. People will release on new and they're like, I got 10 of those in a box. Like
from last year.
And they'll change the name to try to throw you off. It'll be like, okay, this is jade green, but the other one is spring green. No, it's the same thing. They'll change the sticker and all of a sudden you're crazy. It's never new. We never re-release anything. Okay. I got contacted by the compliance department when I won this Z necklace to let me know that all of the bonus accounts in my house, that we had more than one account listed on our home address, and that was against compliance. And they were going to go ahead and cancel this.
Wow.
But I still won the necklace. But I was totally out of compliance. I bought 8,000 pieces of jewelry, so they didn't fire me.
Well, I mean, at least there's that. It would have been even shittier if they had dropped you.
But wouldn't it have saved us all some grief?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I wasn't really that excited until I won a necklace. And then all of a sudden I had responsibilities. I had marketing responsibilities. I was the Tracy. I'm like, I'm a pretty self-confident person, but I never had the before my name before. I mean, I'm like, the?
Now you're the Tracy.
But when you're paparazzi famous, you go to convention, everybody's like, oh, can I get my picture taken with you? I'm like, why?
Oh my God.
I know you? They're like, you're the Tracy. I'm like, no. I started telling people I was not. I'm like, no, but I saw her. She's over there.
You
'Cause I
got
was
the
like,
wrong
please stop hugging
person.
me. I don't know you.
And most of the time they'd be like, you're so funny.
And I just got into it. My kid was so excited and so proud, and we were doing well, and people were talking to us and asking us, how are you doing so well? Please give us tips. And we're like, well, all of a sudden we're really good at this. Wow, we're doing okay. And I'm like, okay, well, here's what we do. Oh, never mind. We're not going to do any of that, but you do you. Okay. We were not recruiters. The biggest, most admired people there have these huge teams, but also sell jewelry. The thing they don't tell you is you sell all that jewelry to your team members who didn't get it because it got sold out and they couldn't purchase it. In buying, it is nothing but circular purchasing. 90% of the jewelry sold on our live shows by the time I won this necklace were to other consultants.
That makes no sense to me. I don't get that. If you can't sell pieces for less than $5, the consultants are buying them from you at full price?
Yes, because if you sell them for less than full price, we would have been fired.
But then what's the point?
They'll tell you that the point is that they have to keep their inventory fresh and diverse so that they can keep people coming to their shows. So these are like the unicorns to make sure people stop and shop, but they're going to buy the other stuff they got at wholesale. No, they're not. They don't. If you don't like the color brown, you're not going to buy 2 brown bracelets to get a green bracelet. You're not going to do that. If you're there for the green bracelet, you're going to buy the green bracelet and leave, unless you're a consultant. If you're a consultant and you don't have 2 brown bracelets and a green bracelet, you can't make this magical stack that must be the stack, must be the reason I'm so successful. I have to buy both of those bracelets, even if nobody asked for it. I'm going to get 2 brown bracelets and a green bracelet. And that way we'll have what everybody wants. No one will ever have to shop with another consultant because my inventory is so diverse.
Yeah, but you're not making any profit.
None. Zero.
Nope. And they don't care.
People have been sending me interesting things that their uplines or things they've dealt with. I have a video clip of a person who is a very high ranking consultant who's a level 5 in the company and a level called jet setter. So she's been with the company for more than 5 years. And she did this video clip explaining that she had just pulled all her sales versus all her purchases. And she was just shocked to see that she has still not made back her money in 5 years. She's still a little bit behind, but she's catching up. She's purchased more inventory than she sold in the last 5 years. Not just has she purchased more than she sold, she actually hasn't broken even. So she has purchased 50% more jewelry than she sold. So she buys 2 and sells 1 and has done it for years. Her house is full of inventory, but she gets a big check from commission, so it's okay.
But altogether, despite all that, she still hasn't broken even.
No, has not broken even in 5 years or more. I'm sure that her length of time there is longer than I even think. I just know that it's from that period of time on, has still not in 5 years broken even selling the product. But she's very, very wealthy because of her commission check.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so she's more than broken even from her team building.
But that's not right. But that's not sales, right? So they'll tell you you're supposed to survive on sales. The whole point of this company is to sell this product. The commission is the bonus you get for helping other people learn to sell the product. But no one's selling the product. They're all buying it, but they're not selling it.
Buying it from each other. So that way all the money just stays in the organization.
And there's zero profit to be made. The only people making money are the wholesalers at the top, because if you are a consultant who has then sold to another consultant, there is zero profit to be made and you are not the end user. When I got canceled from them, started buying inventory from other consultants who were going out of business, because I'm canceled. Sometimes I'm looking at this stuff and I'm thinking, I'm buying all their inventory from them. I'm probably for a much cheaper rate than they're supposed to, but they're going out of business too. I'm probably sometimes the 4th, 5th, or 6th owner of this item, and it still hasn't gone to an end user. We're all still trying to unload it.
Yeah. You know what that is? That's a fucking cult, dude.
It is. It's terrible.
100%. That's not normal. That's not how normal businesses work.
It's not supposed to be, but you mentioned Roberta Blevins. She put me onto something when I was chatting with her, and she led me to something called the BITE model, BITE, with the categories of what a cult is and the toxic positivity and how they discourage you from having negative thoughts. And if you would just work harder, it's not the system that's broken. If you would just follow the system, you will be successful. It's you that is the failure if you cannot make the money. And how we all fed on every little morsel that was spoken down to us, any little word of praise. Mostly we were criticized for not doing our job appropriately, but any little word of praise, everybody just glowed because it was so rarely given. And it is absolutely the most negative experience I have ever had in my adult life. And I'm 50 years old. I'm an attorney. I've been through law school. Law school wasn't as stressful as this was. I've practiced since 1995. I've had some really hard cases, but none of them where my personal ethics and morality were called into question. Even if my client didn't win or lose, we knew we tried our hardest, and we would say, you know what, sometimes you just can't win, but you're not a failure. Like, I have never been called or likened to a failure so many times in my adult life as I was when I entered the realm of multi-level marketing. It's just insane to me. After I won this necklace, we went on vacations that were paid for by the company, except your travel. You have to pay for your own travel. We went to corporate events that we footed the bill for, because if you weren't there, you weren't dedicated. If you weren't there, you didn't really take your business seriously. They took us, I won a contest for purchasing jewelry. Again, they say it's for sales, but it's not. It was for the volume I purchased. They gave me a shopping spree, but they walked us around with their staff that they called stylists and controlled every store we went in and what we bought. I don't have my own purchases. I have a bunch of stuff they made me buy with their money.
What?
I have like 7 purses upstairs with the tags on it, clothing with the tags on it. It wasn't for me, but they were videoing us, and we only had a limited amount of time. If we didn't spend the money, we lost it. And I was filmed for 36 straight hours. We were told to be up at 6 on a bus taken to where the stores that were giving them a kickback would give them a kickback. Like, it was the most contrived thing, but it was a prize. And but you have to say it's great. Look at this thing I won. Look at this money they gave me.
But you got all of that by spending your own money.
Right.
God.
Right. I was very disillusioned with the business model. I had already literally blocked my upline for her aggressive behavior. She demanded that we put her in our team group. I had over time accumulated a little bit of a team. They were people who, like me, were in it to make money. They actively sold. Nobody really bought as a hobbyist. They literally bought jewelry, sold jewelry. I had a downline that had, she and a friend opened a retail store. They made money. My cousin that I hired, she had a nail salon. She had her jewelry in her nail salon, and she sold it and made money. My grandma did not make money. My grandma just bought it and hung it on the wall because she likes to look at it and it looks pretty.
Oh.
So she's so cute. She's 95. But most of the people on our team, I think the most number of people we ever had act was 26 people. So I didn't have some big, huge team.
That's a lot more than most, though.
Well, I had like 12 personally sponsored people, and then they had, so my entire organization.
Gotcha. Okay.
When we were at the end of it, we had won a vacation. They have these vacations where you win the accommodation. You have to travel there. We had qualified for this cruise ship. Funnily enough, like LuLaRoe, they rented out their own cruise ship, which is kind of funny. I know Caroline's dying to interrupt because she says I skipped tons of things. So she wants to add her.
Go for it. Yeah.
So she joined Paparazzi. She signed up, got a kit.
Now I had a call coming through. Let me put it on silent. Sorry. It's a friend of mine who just let me know that she got canceled by Paparazzi and she wants to chat. I'm like,
probably
yeah, girl,
because she commented on our video.
Oh, that's the new thing. They're canceling everyone that comments on our
anyone who
anti-paparazzi
talks to us,
videos.
anyone who's friends with us, it makes it public. Anyone likes any posts, they're canceling them.
It's a whole campaign, but that's you got to tell the story.
Yeah, we can get into all of that other bullshit later.
She joins Paparazzi, and I'm like, I do not want anything to do with this at all. Like,
I thought she'd be so excited.
Aww.
And she was like, no, look at the jewelry.
I'm
And
like,
I'm
look. And
I'm
she's
like, do you know what? Okay, well, I'll wear this jewelry. And it didn't break me out. It didn't give me any ear infections, anything. I was like, this stuff is great. I could sell this. After we get the kit, she places a huge order.
I told her about that.
Because our upline.
Oh, I forgot about that.
This is our upline told her, hey, girl, could you order like 50 more pieces? Because I'm like 459 pieces away from ranking up.
I forgot this story.
And she was like, I really could use it if you could. I know it'll help you build your business, blah, 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 blah.
Because you're new.
We haven't even gotten in her team group yet. She's telling us she wants us to help her with her rank. Mom's like, do you know what? I'm feeling nice today. Goes in and buys 460 pieces.
Oh,
I ranked her
by herself.
Oh my God.
She texts her. She goes, achievement unlocked.
Oh my God.
There you go. You're good.
Wow.
We were going to be shopping anyway, and I thought, oh, I'll just do it today. This is fine. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing.
Insane.
But it also wasn't that much money to me.
Because It's lawyer money. She had lawyer money.
Because I had invested way more in other things and not gotten as much volume of items for that thing. I was like, if we're going to do this, we're going to have stuff. If we're going to these festivals and doing this stuff, we're going to do, we got to have stuff. I forgot about that. I forgot that she was messaging me and asking me,
Wow.
50 pieces. I'm like, okay, is this going to go on all night? How about if I just buy it all and you stop messaging me?
Dang.
And I know that that is not something that most people could have done. I get that.
Right.
But I also thought she was nice, and she really had kind of left me alone when I asked her to just let us be until we were ready to do our thing. So it's not like I had a negative impression of her at all yet. But when she got a taste of these checks she was getting, she became a different kind of a person. I never had a very big team. I was never an aggressive upline. I didn't care. I didn't want to rank up. I didn't care. I was there to manage a team. I did help them with things like, because I'm a tax attorney, things like, okay, here are all the expenses you can write off on your taxes this year. Don't forget that this shipping is included. You know, you get to write your shipping off, keep track of that. If you're buying mailers, if you're buying stuff to store the jewelry, keep track of all that stuff. We did trainings on things like how to set up a Shopify website, how to do PayPal, how to invoice, trying to help people run a real business. She kept getting there and giving everybody challenges to buy jewelry. Or if you buy jewelry, I'll piece match you. If you buy 50 pieces, I'll send you 50 pieces.
Whoa.
Because all of their rank ups are only as good as everybody's purchases that month. It doesn't matter what anybody did last month. You started zero every month. Whatever I did for her last month had no value this month. And it was then a constant harassment to buy more, buy more, buy more. Never asked if you were selling more. And she's going, I know you can find the money for it. Do you need to have a yard sale? Just go live and sell it. If you go live and sell, you can buy 50 more pieces. It's always how you can come up with money to buy more inventory. Not ever sell your inventory, take your profit and do something nice for yourself. Never that. It's always sell it so you can buy more.
You got to reinvest.
And I got so frustrated that I kicked her out of my Facebook group and blocked her because she was harassing these people who didn't join that kind of business person. They joined us because we were selling socially, we were having a good time, we were making money, and we were trying to teach them how to do it too. Everybody that does it isn't predatory, but the way you make money in that company is that you have to become a predator. If you're not a predator, you're prey. That's it.
Honestly, the same can be said with most MLMs too.
I believe that. I can believe that.
Yeah. Paparazzi is its own level of fucking bad.
Nobody ever talks about them because people don't leave paparazzi and go to a competing company. I have a friend who's been in like 17 health and wellness companies. I swear she hops companies every 6 months. But the health and wellness company people, they all know each other because they all keep hopping team to team to team to team. People that come to paparazzi never leave unless they're canceled. And then they don't go back into another business. There's not another company selling cheap jewelry. There's expensive jewelry, not cheap jewelry. People don't leave and go to these other companies and they're never recruited. Like they're such a protected little bubble, special protected dome group. I had no idea about any other companies that did anything.
You brought up the bite model. I mean, that's the I is information control.
Yes, information control. We're not allowed to know about competitors. There's no competitors. No one else sells $5 jewelry. You should be successful. This is an automatic buy for most people. Why are you failing?
And they definitely don't want you going outside of your little bubble to find anything else about any other companies, any other just like way of thinking at all. The anti-MLM community is met with a lot of opposition because of that, because they're just taught to be like, nope.
It's pretty tough to get anybody in paparazzi to listen to anything about any other business, not even another network marketing company, because they're all terrified that if they mention they like anything, they'll be canceled by the Papa police, because that's what they do.
Yeah, sounds like that's exactly what they do to anybody that disagrees with them.
They're terrified. It's almost like abused women who they don't talk to their friends or family anymore because they would then have to explain why they have a black eye. They isolate themselves because if you collaborate with any other business people, whereas like when I try to have I thought a good working relationship with my LuLaRoe selling friend, because LuLaRoe is cute, but would it be cuter with some accessories? You know,
can't do that.
No, that was absolutely forbidden. Absolutely forbidden. You cannot speak of any other business on your social media if you are a paparazzi, if you talk about paparazzi at all. So you can have a secret paparazzi business or you can talk about somebody else.
Well, I mean, normally like that would be a good business idea to partner with other businesses and cross promote,
which stuff. Is why I kept getting in trouble, because I'm like, this makes no sense to me. I'm an attorney. Look, attorneys don't advertise as a rule. You very rarely see attorneys advertise, at least not tax attorneys. Yes, personal injury attorneys, you always see the billboard. But I'm saying in my line of business, people see seek you out if they need you. Authors do promote their books, but they promote their book along with every other author in their genre. I write romance, so I go to romance writer conventions and romance writer panels because I know the people in the audience like romance. If you like historical romance, maybe you'll like this. If you like contemporary romance, maybe you'll like this. We all work together because people are going to read more than one book.
Yeah, it helps everybody.
Right? But you think people don't just wear jewelry all day. They wear clothing. They have purses. They drive to work. They need keychains. No, you may not speak of any other business, no matter how collaborative it could be. It's forbidden. When you are removed from it like we are now, and you look at something like the Bite model and you see all the discrepancies, it's astounding.
She got the Z piece, but she also hit the highest sales rank in the entire company. Sales rank. We got this big crown, this big plaque.
I want to clarify something.
The sales rank.
The sales rank is not a sales rank. It's a purchasing of inventory rank. I just want to be clear. 0 sales are ever checked or confirmed. There is no sale aspect of that. It is only inventory purchasing. It is so misnamed. It's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, they probably do it because they know, I mean, that's just a loophole.
It's absolutely purposeful, but it's so gross in its deception. Those people sitting in the audience think that in 1 year, I sold 75,000 pieces of jewelry. That's what they think happened.
What happened is you bought it. Yeah.
I bought 75,000 pieces of $2.75 jewelry. I did not sell that much. It wasn't that I was that far off, but it is not accurate because it is not measured. It is not measured by sales.
The first year, she bought 25,000 pieces.
Yes.
But to hit the sales rank, all you had to buy was 17,500. But she bought 25,000.
Oh.
She was extra.
How dare you?
So they bring her on stage at convention to give her this big award, show her off. They
There's
get
a whole lot of prancing
huge
across
picture
stages.
in this hallway that has your name
A
on
giant
it.
poster on the wall
Giant
of me and my
poster.
necklace.
So everyone can fawn all over you. Oh my god.
That is so love bombing,
Right?
which is a big cult thing too.
But in public, they love bomb you so that everybody thinks you're a favored child. Behind the scenes, they're beating you to death. But you have to put your makeup on and cover it up.
That's all part of it, though. That's how they bring in more people. Is like, look, if you get up to be as successful as this person, we're gonna shower you in love too. Don't you want this? And it is very, very predatory.
But the funny thing is, they're up on stage screaming our names. The one is screaming my name. The one sister that founds the company is saying our names. The other sister's behind me going, "What was your name?" Flipping through stuff.
That's messed up.
It's so fake.
Yeah.
She's got a teleprompter and she's reading our names. Now let's clap for Tracy and Reed. And this other sister's back there going, "Who are you?" "I just bought 75,000 pieces of your jewelry." "That's all right. Here, let me flip through. I'll find it."
No big deal. It's fine. Yeah, they don't care. None of them care.
They're so wealthy that didn't even impact them.
Yeah, it's like pocket change.
It impacted us.
Of course, yeah.
My house was full of jewelry. Full of jewelry. You could not walk in a room where there wasn't crinkly little wrappers, and it was so unorganized because there was just so much coming at one time. We would open a box to go live. We'd show 20% of what we bought, and we would run out of time. Like, you can only do it 2 or 3 hours before you're worn out. There were boxes that after I was canceled, we pulled them out of closets. They'd never even been opened.
And you never even showed them or nothing.
No, nobody had ever seen them. I have a website where I'm loading it now, and I'm like, I don't even remember when I bought this. This might have been 2018. But it's, it's okay though, because it's classic now. It's vintage.
She was skipping to the convention next year, but we're completely forgetting about the free vacation that we won after the free vacation you won, which was in January.
But to me, this stuff is it's just prizes they hand out. But when you go, you're so busy being brainwashed and love bombed and herded and told what you're supposed to do that is no vacation. It's stressful. You're supposed to go live and show everybody how much fun you're having, but you're not having any fun. You're worn out. They sent us to the Dominican Republic. I was talking to one girl. She had me elite trying to give her team strategies for purchasing. Some other woman is behind me surreptitiously filming us. So she films everything I'm saying and puts it on her monetized YouTube channel without my permission. My kid's in it. I just wrote, how YouTube works and tell him unauthorized use of a minor child's images. Please remove this video, because she wouldn't take it down.
Doesn't she have to? Or YouTube would have
Oh no,
to?
she refused to. YouTube took it down, but she wouldn't.
Right.
The consultant would. She said, "Well, you were speaking out loud. I don't need your permission." I'm like, "Oh, but you do."
Yeah, that's a minor.
That's a child. I found out very quickly that most people there are not there for a business. They're there for the feeling that they get by succeed at what they think is succeeding at bringing other people into a business. I was not a recruiter, so I was dismissed mostly, except for my sales. They wanted to talk to us about sales, and I did tons of videos in all these elite people's groups about how these people should be keeping track of the stuff for taxes, trying to help them save money. I did all of these things for all of these elite leaders who never ever talked about money. No one ever talked about the fact that you were not profitable. No one ever talked about the fact that you collected all of this income. Now you have to report it. If you got a commission check, most people were not getting enough commission check. They didn't even claim it on their taxes, which is tax fraud. The company gives no guidance. And I guess that's typical too. The company doesn't care what you do with the money they send you. It's not their problem anymore because you're an independent contractor. But here's all these people making poor financial decisions, getting audited and being fined and being hit with tax findings of like $40,000-$50,000 because they got commissions for years and never paid taxes because they thought because paparazzi collected sales tax that they were paying their income tax too. It's so messed up.
That's a matter of definitely like miseducation.
It is, but no one talks about that because that's hard, and selling jewelry is fun and easy. We don't talk about hard things. So they're literally sabotaging these people on a daily basis by giving them the training that motivates them to spend money, but not any kind of information about how to appropriately deal with money once they get it. If they're lucky enough to make it, most people that came to me and wanted help had never made a dime and were so upside down. I'm like, girl, here's how you carry your loss forward to the next year. They're all in deficit.
Can I ask, did you end up breaking even or making?
No,
girl, you're
no.
in the hole too.
So I spent based on my total sales there, I joined in September 2017. I was canceled in February of 2020. 2.5 years. I spent $275,000 on inventory. I bought
because you bought 100,000 pieces for $3.05. You bought over 100,000.
Oh, I forgot about the sales tax they pre-collected. You're right. So it was about $305,000 I spent. I am negative $200,000 right now. I'm still carrying a loss forward.
Oh my God. That's so much worse than I thought.
The reason I went into, near the end of our time there, went into a big amount of inventory purchasing mode is part of this big award I had won. They created this level called Pink Diamond. Black diamond, black. You get a shopping spree, but what you also get is you get to pick 2 pieces of jewelry. One of them you get to pick is a piece that they retired. Like when I said they never bring these pieces back, you pick one from the history of their jewelry. You get to bring it back, and it's only available to your team for 2 days.
Oh.
Only your team gets the magical piece of jewelry. The second piece of jewelry, you get to design a piece, but the design is limited to taking this piece of jewelry and making it a different color.
Oh.
Like if you had this brown bracelet and they'd never released it in this green color, you could have this brown bracelet made green.
Wow.
But it seemed pretty magical at the time.
Right.
Because Caroline here is pretty smart. So she picked a bracelet that had pink stones in it, and then the necklace we designed was a necklace that had pink stones in it that had never been released in pink. So we were having a set.
Ooh.
We were going to sell it to everybody because we were going to make millions.
That's actually one of the reasons why we think we got canceled right before our pieces got released, is because we were the only ones in the entire company who actually made a set, was smart with our pieces and intelligent, and they do not like intelligent people in this company. They want you to stay brainwashed.
You guys were definitely business minded.
But you're not allowed to be that.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon.
Right.
We're still carrying a loss forward. We bought all this inventory and then got canceled, and they wouldn't give us the things that we had won. So here I am with all this stuff. My entire customer base then won't have anything to do with us because it was all consultants buying from us. So my customer base goes away.
They don't even want to buy your vintage jewelry.
They do now, but the stank had to come off first because they couldn't be seen on our lives because we were canceled. We were shunned. So we went from rock star to rock bottom
really fast.
In about 3 weeks. Went from you're winning to wow, you really lost.
I mean, literally a week before we got canceled, we went to this event and had the founders hugging us, telling us how amazing we are. Just
of course. Fawning all over us. You're going to be such a star when you're older and you join the company. Oh, yeah.
You're the future of paparazzi. And I was just eating it up. I think, how old was I? 15?
Yes.
15.
But see, that's the thing. All these people keep telling you how smart and how pretty and how nice you are. And they just love watching you go live with your mom. It's so much fun. And of course, what person isn't going to be happy that all these people are paying you compliments?
There it is. There's the love bombing. Hello.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's even more messed up because she's young and she's a child.
No one can be any more disgusted with me than I am with myself for exposing my kid to that. People send us messages like, how could you even? And I'm like, because at the time we were having so much fun doing this together. People would say, oh, I just love that you and your daughter have such a good relationship and you do this together. How many moms of teenage girls work a business with their kid, have fun, get along? We traveled together. My husband never went. She went with me to all the events. Like, we really had a good time. And I thought I was showing my daughter the world. I thought I was showing my daughter the world. The world was a very weird, small cave.
You definitely taught her a very, very important lesson very early on in life. And I think, Caroline, that's going to take you places, honey. Like, you have more life experience in shitty businesses than
It's true.
anyone else your age, dude.
You won't fall for it.
Right. You know better.
I had other things going on. I ignored how absolutely damaging most of this behavior was until the end, when you look back and you go, wow, that was just destructive and negative and horrible and backward and creepy and gross. And we're just all sitting there going, thank you, sir. May I have another? Yeah, it's just so weird looking back at all the things that I knew were not right. But when I would say it wasn't right, everybody would say to me, no, it's all perfect. What are you talking about? It's a delight here.
And that did
What do you
something.
mean? And I questioned my own sense of sanity, of business sense, because I'm looking around going, none of this makes sense. But you keep telling me because you're a millionaire. One of my very dear friends in that company, someone I spent a whole lot of time with, is the number 2 or 3 consultant. I mean, it changes back and forth. Number 2 or 3 earning consultant in that company. She's with the highest level in the company. She is literally a millionaire every year from commission. And
But
I'm
she's got
talking
a
to her.
huge team, right?
Huge. How big is it? 75,000?
Yeah. probably
Jesus
70,000.
Christ.
And they're all paying her because she, at her level, gets unlimited levels down. There's no lockout for her because of where she is. Every level of her team gives her a certain percentage of every single person that purchases pays her a little bit.
Do you know how deep it goes?
Last time I checked, it was like 23, so it's got to be probably
Because
almost
she's bigger
40
now because her level has jumped, which means she doubled.
That's crazy. I didn't know that was a thing that you could do in paparazzi. Because I know,
When
like,
you reach Impressionista, you are suddenly unlocked. And as long as you have their 4 balanced legs they require, you are unlimited level.
that's crazy.
The only downside to that is if you get a team member under you that ranks up to Impressionista, or sorry, Lux Jet Setter,
You
which
lose
is the
that
third
whole
leg,
leg.
you lose that whole leg.
Why?
They will
Because
not
they
double
won't.
dip.
Because
If they will not double dip on commission. So if your team member hits a huge rank under you, you're done. You don't get paid with them anymore.
And really, if your team member below you passes you, you also get locked out.
Yep.
So you're not encouraged to ever help anybody.
To actually, yeah, wow.
There are whole business building strategies that people discuss at these events, but won't put in writing, where they purposefully monitor who is doing well below them and purposely get them canceled so they don't pass them. And then their team rolls up and they keep all the money.
Whoa, shit, man.
It's cutthroat.
But it's designed that way.
But these people having someone up under them successful is the difference between $12 million a year and $1 million a year. Because if you have a very successful downline and their group is huge, if they hit the same rank you are, you literally lose 11 of your $12 million a year. And it's month to month. So if the person hits one month, you're locked out. If they don't hit the next month, suddenly it rolls up to you.
Mhm.
It is such a cutthroat structure where people are purposefully punished and targeted for being successful because the people who are at the top do not want to be unseated from their thrones.
See, I didn't know that either. That's wild. See, that is something that you don't really hear in MLMs all the time. A lot of times, like pro MLMers, I guess, will use that as an excuse to be like, oh, you can pass your upline. Like, that's why it's not a pyramid scheme. And it sounds like with paparazzi, it's definitely not what you want to be doing.
But there's still only a little tiny point at the top. Only so many people can get here because if they're below you and they start creeping up, all of a sudden it's like musical chairs. You're fighting over that last seat. Can only be one. And people will report their downlines. So there was a whole scheme where people were creating false accounts on social media, going in and behaving poorly on other people's live shows so that they would then be targeted by compliance and canceled. And they were canceled because compliance does not do any investigation.
Is that what Jerry was talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bunch of false accounts used her names, went in and behaved badly, and she was suspended for it. But she's not the only one that happened to.
Right. And it wasn't even her.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't her.
Just totally someone else.
The point we were trying to make is, why would you do that when you know full well at your level that will get you canceled? Someone is doing that to try to prove that someone was doing that to get you canceled, knowing that behavior is unacceptable. Nobody who reaches that level in paparazzi does not know you cannot do that. Nobody's going to lose their mind and suddenly go throw away $50,000 a month so they can, get 4 shoppers off of somebody else's live show. Because they were saying, I'm Geraldine the Empire Souza. Come shop at my show. I have much better stuff than this. You think she's going to do that for the 14 people on somebody else's? It's not, that doesn't make any sense, but they don't care because they do not ask questions. You are suspended, then you must prove yourself innocent.
Yep. Guilty until proven innocent.
So what happened? What made you leave?
Well, I got fired. I got canceled. I got kicked out. I got removed. I got separated.
And why did you?
So one of the things that we had won was a cruise vacation to the Caribbean, right?
Mm-hmm. And
Cozumel, Mexico, and Grand Cayman.
Yeah, that's it.
That was it. Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
It's a cruise ship. Paparazzi rents out this old Norwegian cruise liner that I guess had been retired from main cruising service, but was available for private charter. We get on the boat in Tampa. We're going to Grand Cayman. We are with a group of people who we have known. It was one of them had a husband with her who had Lou Gehrig's disease. He was in a motorized scooter because he can't walk. We get up to the gangplank to get off of the boat to go to Grand Cayman, and he is stopped by the purser and told, can't take your scooter on this tender. And the guy's English was not his first language. So we were trying to understand what the discrepancy was. We couldn't figure out what the problem was. First, he told him it was too heavy. Then he told him he was too heavy. He can't walk across the gangplank. He's too heavy. It was all this big kerfuffle, and this man is getting up. And I'm like, what is the problem? I didn't butt in at first. And the wife's getting upset, and the husband's getting upset. And the man's just going, you can't go. You cannot take this. And I said, excuse me, what is the problem here? You're not allowing him to ride it across the gangplank? Okay. Can you walk? And he said, yes, I can walk. Okay. So he's going to walk, and then we'll take it across. He says, no, it doesn't fold. He keeps yelling, it doesn't fold. It doesn't fold. Okay. He can't take it. He can't take it. I said, okay. So his wife says, this comes apart. It disassembles. It disassembles into 7 pieces. I said, great. We'll disassemble it. He'll walk across. We'll carry it. We'll reassemble it on the shore. No. What do you mean no? No, I totally Karen'd it. I'm like, we need to see your manager. I don't even know what you call the manager of the pursers on a boat. I'm like, we need a superior officer. We need somebody else down here. Guy comes down. What's the problem? They're refusing to allow this man to take his scooter onto this boat. We've offered to disassemble it and carry it, but he's saying because it doesn't fold, he can't go. This makes no sense. We're going to pick it up and physically carry it. No. The solution was that he can have a push wheelchair that he can rent by the hour, but he can't take the scooter. I said, no, you're an American ship. You are aware that under the Americans with Disabilities Act, you cannot refuse this man the use of his medical device. You have to accommodate him. That's the law. No, the man's upset. The wife's upset. He's crying. She's furious. And she's like, no, whatever we need to do, whatever we need to do. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I said, this is ridiculous. And she's filming. He's going, you can't film me. You don't have permission. I'm like, oh, we don't have permission. Okay.
I don't need permission.
But the outcome of it was, because the man was getting so upset, they send for the push wheelchair, and they say as a concession, he can just use it. They won't charge him by the hour.
Oh, thank you so much.
Humiliated. I know. He's so humiliated at this point. He walks across the gangplank holding his oxygen. We push the wheelchair behind him. They get to the port. He was a tall man. She was a small woman. They sat at the port till they got back on the boat because she couldn't push him anywhere, which is why he had a motorized scooter. So I'm disgusted. I'm so upset. I get back. And we're on the boat, and a friend of ours is in the medical field. And she's like, Americans with Disabilities Act. I even know where to report. We're all on our phones. We're filling out these Department of Justice, Americans with Disabilities Act violation forms. We've got the video attached. We're all coordinating it, making sure we got all the facts in there. We all fill out our reports. There's 5 of us present. Cruise is over. It kind of tainted the whole rest of the thing. It was just pretty awful. We get back. I'm getting into my car to drive away. I have an email from Paparazzi Compliance. I'm suspended. I'm suspended for having a negative attitude at a paparazzi sponsored event because I refused a direct order from a ship's personnel.
Oh my God.
It said at the bottom of the letter that in order to be reinstated, I had to read a section of their policy and procedure manual. I had to read it, acknowledge that I had read it, and then I understood that any further infraction of this particular code would be my immediate dismissal. So I wrote back and said, I guess you can reinstate my account because I read the section of policy procedure manual that you're referring to, but are you aware that this ship was refusing service to a handicapped man and was verbally abusive, called him obese, and then tried to charge him for using a push wheelchair, told him he was too heavy for the gangplank? I listed all the reasons why this was bad. I said they violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. We've all filed with the Department of Justice, including the video evidence. They wrote back and said, we need to see that video. I said, then you need to contact the Department of Justice. I'll expect my account to be reinstated. They did reinstate my account. But 3 weeks later, so remember at the very beginning of this when I told you when I won that Z necklace, they canceled all my other family members' accounts because they told us we weren't allowed to have accounts. 3 weeks later, I get another suspension letter that says, it has come to our attention that you have been selling jewelry with a compliance consultant in live videos.
Oh my God.
I said, it's come to your attention. Every single video, every live sale, every paparazzi event, every corporate party, every convention, she's been there. They were talking about my kid. So because they looked like complete assholes for trying to cancel me over trying to help a handicapped man who was being refused service by their own personnel on a private charter, that would have made them look too shitty. So instead they canceled me for working with my kid. They told me that I could be reinstated if I removed any evidence of her ever being a part of my business.
Oh my
including
God.
removing her because we had switched our business over from my personal name to our business name, Bluegrass Bling. I had to change my name back from Bluegrass Bling because she wasn't allowed to have an ownership interest in it. And if I died, she would inherit. She's not allowed to inherit. So I have to change it back to my personal social security number so that a paparazzi cancel consultant can have nothing to do with the business, is part of this section, blah, 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 blah. And I basically said, bye. So we did not comply with our last compliance violation. You know, the one that had happened 2.5 years later, 2.5 years earlier, that they had been perfectly fine with the rectification of canceling all of those accounts at the time. We weren't told she was canceled for life. We were not told that any of this was an issue at all. Only that you can't have more than one consultant in a household. So they were going to go ahead and cancel those other accounts. Okay, I've made a real summary of what was a very lengthy back and forth discussion for months. But at the end of it was basically, if you have any further correspondence with us, see our attorneys. Because I said, we're an independent contractor. My personal estate planning is none of your business. You cannot tell me who I can have working for my business entity in the state of Kentucky or anywhere in the United States of America. I'm very happy to bring this matter up to the Internal Revenue Service, the Kentucky Department of Labor, and request mediation if you would like to have a decision made about your choice to over interfere with my private business. But I have a feeling that they're going to find in my favor. So would you like to go ahead and withdraw this requirement? Because your policies and procedures say you may or you might. They wrote back and said, there are only two choices. You either do this or you don't. And I wrote back and said, there's many, many choices here. You're choosing to give me an ultimatum. And therefore, since you're giving me an ultimatum, I'm assuming that you're waiving jurisdiction. We're going to go to mediation. We're going to call the IRS and the Department of Labor. We're going to have a few little discussions with some, I wrote it in a much more professional manner than that. And they wrote back and said, please direct all further correspondence to our attorneys. That's it.
This lady is way too smart for us.
Oh my God, is she wording? Did she use words?
Right. You scared the shit out of them.
I was told the other night that their attorneys that they have on file, this Buckhalter or somebody, this firm is the #1 MLM defending firm in the United States of America. They pay a lot of money and they just have, people on staff who just send these letters all the time.
Oh my God.
So I've gotten 2 cease and desist letters since then. I'm not allowed to use any photographs of myself wearing their jewelry that they took. I'm not allowed to use my own image, mind you. Me wearing the necklace that it was my namesake, not allowed to use that, and not allowed to use their stock photos on my website. So anyway, I'm fired. I'm bitter and angry that I have been that I've been shunned by this wonderful. This is all this stuff that people post, about us and how angry we are. And when we started to speak out about our experience, which we really kind of left it alone for months because there wasn't any point. There was nobody that I even knew that was interested in hearing about it. I didn't know anything about anti-mlm movements or Lula Rich was I'd never heard of anything like this. I didn't know people cared that we'd been canceled or why, or what kind of a crappy company they were. And we had so many stories to tell. And then they had a convention a couple months ago. The original reason that we went back on social media to talk about it was because a friend of ours who has MS was once again denied service with her walker at their convention. I went live to talk about the fact that they once again took somebody's medical device from them and violated the Americans with Disabilities Act. And she fell down.
Oh.
She injured herself and she soiled herself because she couldn't get up to go to the restroom. And they couldn't find her walker and they left her sitting there for an extended period of time. Because once they took it from her, they gave her a little luggage tag, but then nobody knew where anybody put it. So she got up and tried to walk out and fell. She lost bladder control because she couldn't get to a restroom. And all she did was sit and sob. And that was her experience because someone decided that she wasn't worthy to have a walker at a paparazzi event.
That's so sad.
She was a ticketed attendee and a consultant, but
But no.
But we don't do that. We don't help anybody who needs assistance because, that would be gross.
It tarnishes their image. That's so fucked up.
Yeah. So we only got brought back into this whole mix. Maybe it's been a month. I don't even know. It's been the longest couple of weeks. But after the incident with my friend, we started hearing about all the people who contracted COVID. And then we once again took to the airwaves and said, I'm not sure if you're aware of these people are dying from COVID. And the company isn't talking about it. No one's allowed to talk about it. People sent us images of messages they received from uplines being told, take down your pictures from convention. Don't leave pictures up. We're not talking about this. The company's never acknowledged it. The company's never, as far as we know, never reached out to the families, never mentioned anything publicly, never acknowledged that they were responsible for holding this huge super spreader event. The elites are coming at us on social media, that we are liars, that we are racist, that we are homophobes, that we are just angry because we were kicked out of and we're just mad because we miss our big daddy and all the money we used to make. We've been gone for a very long time. We haven't joined another network marketing company. We're not working with a paparazzi competitor. We have our own jewelry business. We source our own business jewelry from wholesale. We still have a jewelry business. We source our own product from wholesalers. We get it in, we tag it ourselves with our own logoed stuff and we sell it.
We have an actual small business.
Yay! Great
we
job.
don't have any reason to come out. We're not recruiting people. We're not trying to steal folks away. We're just trying to talk about how horrible our experience with them was and how we really were the lucky ones who got out, because I can guarantee you we would probably still be there if we hadn't been fired. And would I have made a good choice about not going to that convention? I don't know. I can't even answer that question because so much pressure is put on you to show your face when you are a certain accomplishment person in that company. And I'm not saying I was a leader because I did not have a big team, but I was notable because I had won the Z necklace and because I was a big purchaser. I was this pink diamond. I was this big purchaser. I was a big, I'd won this Z. I was notable, and your notable people are supposed to show up.
You were paparazzi famous.
And it was very difficult to turn down, even if you couldn't. We tried our best to go to every event because we were expected to be there. I can't say that I wouldn't have been there. I hope I would not have made that choice, but I can absolutely tell you that I would have felt the pressure. I would have certainly felt the pressure to
100%.
go. The people that lost their lives, to not even acknowledge them, it blows my mind. If you're such a family and everybody loves everyone, why do you not even mourn the passing of your fellow sisters and brothers?
I mean, they did the exact opposite. They just erased them like they never existed.
They're gone.
They acknowledged those people on the inside because they had to go and scrub their accounts. It's not they don't know. It's like, no, they know.
They are aware. When the MGM was contacted, they stated they had COVID safe protocols available to people who rent their event centers, and paparazzi declined it. Not only did the attendees not have to be vaccinated or show proof of a negative COVID test, they were told to attend at their own risk. They were also told there were no refunds. They were told there were not transferable tickets. They were told COVID protocols would be followed, but when they got there,
they clearly weren't.
Not even the owners mirrored CDC guidelines. They were unmasked in hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures all over social media. This is not me grasping at straws.
No,
This
I've
is
seen
me
them.
looking at social media, screenshotting hundreds of pictures, and the pictures we didn't even. I'm not connected to every human that was at the convention. 22,000 tickets were sold, but since we started mentioning that we were trying to get the word out, hundreds of people I've never met in my life have sent us their pictures. No one here masked. No one here masked. No one. No one. No one. No one. No one told us to wear a mask. I don't wear a mask. mask. I don't want to wear a mask. It was my choice. Okay. It's actually not your choice because the city of Las Vegas had a mask mandate in place saying that you must be masked in an indoor setting unless you were eating or drinking. There was no food or drink served at the Paparazzi convention in any of their event centers. There was no food. There was no reason for people to be unmasked there other than they were violating that. But we're bullies and liars and sour grapes and jealous. And what else are we?
Really
racist
the
and
thing that
homophobes.
really gets me is the fact that because these leaders want to talk trash about us and call us names, body shame us, call us.
Oh yeah, the founder's brother called us Mama June and Honey Boo Boo.
Oh my God.
And roll into the next thing. We're going to talk about ogres. I'm no longer going to call them trolls. I'm no longer going to call them haters. We're going to call them Biona, right?
Biona.
We have Bionas out there,
Bionas.
right? Or like the two that are like the kind of 2/3 that I deal with are Biona, and then you have Honey Boo Boo and Mama June, right?
And said he knew where we live.
Oh yeah, that was creepy too. Yeah.
Oh, so they're threatening you. That's cute.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
last
recent.
week, I think.
That was the
it this
video-
week? It's been
That was the
recent.
video last week that we did. Of course, got this lovely cease and desist letter.
Oh, from
which
another
I'm not
elite
sure if you
consultant.
saw it.
That's the one you sent me, right?
I sent. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I sent it. Yeah. I mean, did we receive it?
And
I don't know. Did we
she's
receive
now
it?
posting all over social media that we're coming at her because we're racist, and she's a successful black woman.
She's also now going to. Today's threat was that she has taken. Somebody has provided her with the list of our entire member group in our Recovering Paparazzi Consultants Facebook group that we started, and she's going to give everyone the names of every single person that's a member of the Recovering Paparazzi Consultants, so that her followers can meet the Karens and Kens that have been harassing her on social media. So she's inviting all of them then to turn around and harass every member of.
So she's sending her brainwashed army out to just
harass
And not just
the
her,
members of our
every
group.
single elite is now.
Yes.
Every single elite in the company, because we made a hashtag called Crack the Crown, because Paparazzi's logo is the crown, and they are protecting the crown. Hashtag protect the crown.
I saw
making
that.
videos going in on us, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh my god.
About how disgusting we are and what liars we are, and we're just
And then
jealous and
we
angry
thought-
and negative. Well, I'm negative and angry. I am not jealous. Am I bitter? I am so bitter that I was ever involved in that place. I'm not bitter. I'm gone, honey. I'm bitter. I ever heard the name paparazzi in my life. Oh, I'm salty as hell, but not about what you think I'm salty about.
It's because you're literally ex-cult members, essentially.
I feel like we are, because if anybody would have asked us, I truthfully used to tell people we are making money. We are having such a good time, and the jewelry's so cute, and there's something for everybody. You will have fun doing this. Join us. Join us. I feel like a psychopath now.
Dude, I mean, every time I ever have any conversation with someone who is involved in an MLM, it's the same thing. Like you were just saying, they're saying, we're making money. I'm like, sure you did. Once you become deprogrammed,
Yeah.
then you can show up and say the things that you're saying now. It's like, actually, I lied about this and I wasn't actually making money. Da, da, da. We see that a lot with people in the community who were also high up and they left, and they all say the same thing.
The last 3 months when I was buying, trying to get up to a certain level so I could get these pieces. And then we got fired. And I was left with all this inventory, and my whole audience disappeared. My whole customer base disappeared. Because let's be real, my customer base was other paparazzi consultants. I was just a middleman.
Every single big seller, that's who they sell to.
They're
And
just
they
a
will-
middleman. They
I
sell
mean,
to their
Geraldine
own.
will admit it. Andrew
It's not even
Thompson
about.
will
It's not
admit
even
it.
about admitting it. That's the way it's structured.
That's
it comes
how
down
it's
at 3
supposed to be.
o'clock. If you have a working credit card and fast internet, you win. Period. And everybody else must then come to you and beg for the scraps from your table. It is how it is set up. The strong have been doing this for years. When I first started in 2017, jewelry did not sell out every day immediately, but the same amount of jewelry is being purchased, and there are 5 times as many consultants now as there were. When I joined in 2017, I was 101,835. They are almost at 500,000
Maybe
now.
they are 500.
But they're not releasing any more jewelry than they ever did. Those people, this huge pool of people, are now fighting over a smaller and smaller and smaller meal available to them.
Jeez.
It's just set up to be competitive and cutthroat. It is set up to make people, everyone is the compliance police. There's a compliance section that says if you know of anyone violating compliance, you're obligated to report them or you are also violating compliance and you can also be canceled for the same thing. So my upline knew, for example, that we had all of these consultants in my home. And I know she knew because number one, she had a very small team at the time. Number two, she sent us all Christmas cards. Number three, she invited us all to team trainings that we attended. And number four, I have about, I don't know, 1,000 text messages between her and my daughter where they discussed all the things about her being a consultant and me being a consultant and then after being canceled. The woman knew, but never told because we were making her money. Should she have had to tell? No, it shouldn't have been her job to tell, but they made it her job to tell. So technically, she shouldn't be a consultant either, but she's pretty high up on the pecking order.
And I'll tell you what, she's only high up on the pecking order because of us.
No, not the only ones, but
well,
we gave her some real nice momentum. We gave her some real nice momentum.
We bought all the jewelry to make her hit the range. She would say, "Oh, I'm 2,000 pieces away." She would go in and buy 2,000 pieces.
But I was gonna buy it anyway, right?
Might as well help somebody.
I was gonna buy it anyway.
But she wasn't. She wasn't going to buy it all that day. She wasn't going to buy all those pieces that have been sitting on the website for weeks.
Well, I tried very
stuff
hard.
like that.
I tried very hard to win the way that they wanted me to win. I tried very hard to support my upline and be a good little proletariat and buy all the jewelry and do all the things. I did try.
Here's the craziest story ever for this upline. I don't even think she barely remembers this. Back in 2018, our upline hit elite. She was trying to hit the rank above elite. And our leg, because it has a 1/3 rule, you have to have 3 personally sponsored
until you get to a certain level, you have to have 3. Then when you get really big,
including them is a leg.
Yeah, a leg.
So our leg was pulling a lot of inventory, and then all of her other legs were not. So our leg maxed out that month that she was trying to hit a rank.
Which means I couldn't help her. Nothing I did helped her anymore.
And she would not stop going live and crying and being like, "Well, you can't buy from Tracy's leg because it won't help." So do you know what my mom did?
I forgot that.
What did you do?
She said, "Okay, guys, you order 100 pieces. I'll give you 100 pieces out of my inventory to help Amber."
I took my inventory and I piece matched her other team members that were not on my team and my downline. I literally 5,000 pieces I gave away
for nothing. She didn't get any money out of it. She was just trying to help her.
Because I thought we have a lot of inventory sitting around. I can do something positive with it. Like I was all YOLO, you only live once. Let's be good people. We're trying to be nice.
And that month, she didn't even hit the rank.
She didn't.
Oh my God.
Hit the rank. But we had all of these people come to our house and pick out jewelry off the walls.
I did. I let them come and pick what they wanted.
And then I had all of her consultants that couldn't make it message me and request all the different jewelry that they wanted in their box.
Like they were shopping for free.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
It was fun. I blocked that out because I was so mad that people came to my house and acted like termites and like stripped the walls
Can I this?
And ate. I mean, I had a little party. I made food. There were donuts. There was coffee. There was orange juice.
And one of the funniest thing was our upline. She brought her gun to our house, and then
I forgot because if anybody got out of line,
and then it was in her bag. She said just in case anyone gets out of line. Why did you bring a gun to our house? Like we don't.
So we don't have
do
guns.
that.
Like
we don't do that.
We don't do guns.
I don't either, but like
I know people are armed. I know that she's able to use that weapon safely as far as I know, but see the rest of the people in the house, I didn't know about them. And I was like, there's a gun here and these are a lot of people and I don't know them. Like I was so nervous because I was afraid. Okay, we live in Kentucky.
She had a 6-year-old at the time.
We live in Kentucky.
Yeah.
You just do not know who's going to sugar snap over something.
Oh my God.
You just don't know.
The next month, we were in England at 5 o'clock in the morning, England time.
5 o'clock in the morning, England time. That's right.
She calls me 50 times
because it was midnight. It was almost midnight
at
home.
Wake up. I need you guys to order 4,000 pieces so I can rank up.
I forgot about that. We were in the middle of the countryside and the phone's ringing at 5 in the morning. I forgot about it. It was like 4:50 because it wasn't midnight yet.
Are you kidding me? After all the stuff that we gave your team, after all the money we made you can't pull them together and you always still have to rely on us.
And I'm on vacation in another country.
The month we actually hit our biggest sales rank, which
I swear to God, I forgot about that.
We finished off buying the 75,000 pieces. She did end up hitting her rank because our leg fully maxed out.
But the funny thing is, by then I'd blocked her because she was so crazy. She was so just absolutely intent on her her making her way up the ranks like that she got a little difficult I just couldn't anymore.
And
it was too much. My people were not there for that. They were there for little businesses and to make a little side hustle. And we were there to help them do what they wanted to do. It wasn't about us. We were never going to rank up. I didn't care about that.
Yes. And the funniest thing is we made her all this money, right? And helped her so much. We were telling our story last week about joining the company and we said her name.
Uh-oh.
Now it's a war.
Blocked us and made a Bible devotional to us last night.
But we weren't allowed to see it. David and
Goliath saying
she's a warrior of God, and her God.
She was sent by God.
Her God is strong, and we are obviously going to fall. But they're going to pray for us while we are destroyed.
She didn't want this for us. She didn't want all this negativity in our hearts.
Wait, so who was this? This was your
our upline, our sponsor.
Wow.
The one that we ranked up, I don't know how many times, but now we have to be destroyed because we've stopped singing the party line. We must be ended, but they'll pray for us.
She has to work a lot harder now that you aren't buying jewelry to rank her up anymore.
So the funny thing is, I bought myself individually more than the other. At the time, she had 1,000 team members. I bought more than all 999 other people.
Jeez.
So yeah, she is probably struggling since we were
I bet.
Mistake. But maybe not. Maybe she's found her niche in the Bible community.
It's doubtful. It's really doubtful.
I mean, it's been a pretty bad year with COVID. I mean, people there's just not a lot of extra income. And it was interesting that I saw an article that some companies had been warned by the FTC not to use COVID and the stimulus money as a way to market their products. But that obviously warning was not given to Paparazzi because we saw multiple posts. Your stimulus check's coming. Why not start a business with Paparazzi accessories? And I thought that's so predatory and gross. I can't even.
And I wonder why. Well, because I know a lot of the companies that got those warning letters were for health claims related to COVID. So obviously Paparazzi wouldn't fall under that. So I think they were more focused on that. But I mean, that's not to say that they didn't just send income claim warning letters to other MLMs, because I think they did. I guess Paparazzi just somehow flew under the radar there.
Well, it's funny you mentioned income claims because until 2019, I don't think they ever released one.
They didn't. Yeah. No. Oh my God. Okay. Do you know my history with Paparazzi?
No.
Well, so Paparazzi has kind of been my arch nemesis ever since I started.
Girl, I didn't even know.
Basically,
tell us.
Okay, here we go. Let's relive it. I started doing the anti-MLM thing by doing deep dives, and I don't know why I picked Paparazzi, but I decided to do a deep dive on Paparazzi. It was one of the first ones I ever did.
I wish I'd found it.
It's still up. It's very outdated now. But so I called them out on a lot of things, one of which they changed their website after I made a point. I think it said there's no way to lose. That's what it was. When yeah.
There's so many ways to lose.
I know. Exactly. And that's so on their website where they're selling the starter kits, it literally big pink text at the top was there's no way to lose. After my video came out, they changed it to what are you waiting for?
You did that.
I did that. I know I did that. I bitched about them not having an income disclosure statement, and then later that year they came out with their first one ever.
I didn't even know that an income disclosure was a thing. I had no idea. When I joined, there was not one.
It was kind of bullshit anyway. I'd have to go back and look.
It's still bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, most income disclosure statements are. It's very rare that they're very transparent with those things. But so the other thing is that I got threatened legally, not by Paparazzi. It was by two consultants I was talking about in that video. Do you know who Papa Rock Stars is?
Yeah, it's a training group.
The owner of that website filed a copyright claim against my video because I used parts of one of their podcasts. They did an interview with another high-ranking someone. I don't remember who it was, but I used clips of that in one little part of my video. The owner of Papa Rock Stars told YouTube that I was in violation of copyright because I used her interview in my entire video, and I was like, no, I fucking did not. And YouTube was like, no, she fucking did not. But she was trying to threaten me to take it down. And then the consultant that was in that interview was on my my Facebook. Like, she started messaging me on Facebook. I wish I remembered her name.
I hope she's not one of the Jack Weasels that's after us now, because I'm like, girl, you're not
Why
gonna
do
win
we-
this either.
Do you remember that video that what's her face, you know who I'm talking about, millionaire, called us and said, you know, that was about and somebody else?
Oh no, it was not. It was the sister of the right. It wasn't a sister.
No, it was.
Oh, it was it.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the video. You rocked.
We saw that. Yeah. Oh yeah. And she's running. Why are you coming after me? Because dumbass, you gave the fucking interview, weenie wad.
And it was
That's
so
why.
bad. Her interview was so bad, and honestly, like, I tore it to shreds in the fucking video.
I remember it was Jesus. Everything's God. Yeah, Jesus and God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a Jesus thing. So, but she slid into my DMs and said, cease and desist, capital letters. And I said, oh, that's really cute. Have your lawyer type up a cease and desist. And like, we had a whole, like, I have a video about that. I went through all of our DMs because it was so fucking stupid. Yeah, I'm almost positive it was her.
It is.
Yeah. It was totally her. Yeah. Oh my god. So, yeah. So those two people threatened me with legal
Did you
action.
have to take that down? Because I don't
No.
think you have to if they put it up publicly.
No.
Like if you do an interview, people are allowed to comment on that interview. It's not, that's not copyrighted.
It falls under fair use, yeah. And I definitely didn't use it under the entire video, so. But they tried. Oh, both of them tried. They sure did. And they tried to scare me by saying, cease and desist. And I said, okay, have your lawyer write one up and send it to me, and then we'll talk about it. I don't know. You guys should probably go watch that video too.
I will too, because I can't resist now because this crazy shit.
It'd give you a good
Because I got
laugh.
my own cease and desist from. I'm not allowed to use the letter E. I mean, it's really awkward to talk when you cannot use the capital letter E. But whatever.
Oh yeah, you've been in violation of that many times during this interview.
I know.
So.
People are so self-important.
Well, that's what it was. And they were literally just trying to scare me into submission. And I was like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. In fact, I'm going to go make another video now. Bye.
Yes.
And so that's what I did. I have the original Paparazzi deep dive. Sorry about my cat. Move, Pop-Tart. God. And then there's one about and then one about the paparazzi stars. Because I was like out with my friends and I got an email on my phone while I was out. I was at like a bar or something. And the email came from YouTube and it was like copyright strike. And I was like, excuse me, what? And it was like this whole thing. I don't know. It was so fucking stupid.
But you won, right? Because
Yeah, I fucking won. What are they gonna do? They had to like pay a lawyer to type up an actual cease and desist to send to me, and they were not gonna do that. They didn't actually send me a cease and desist. They just used the words cease and desist to try to scare me, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
But
So-
see, I got the video with her in it taken down because I'm her mother and I didn't give permission for images of my minor child to be used in YouTube video, and she had to take it down because she couldn't provide a signed waiver because she didn't ask me, first of all.
That's different. That's totally different. YouTube is very strict about having minors appear in videos and stuff.
Yeah, that was creepy
They are.
and horrible. So.
They really are. They're very strict about it.
For good reason too, though. I mean, I'm glad that they're that way. Yeah, so ever since then, I've just had beef with paparazzi just because of the consultants. That's the other thing too, is that video, that original paparazzi video, out of every MLM video I've ever made, like, those comments are the meanest. The comments from paparazzi consultants on that video are just the most vile, ad hominem, like, just dumb shit.
They're
The
literally psycho.
brainwashing is very thorough. Their loyalty is fierce
Well,
to this
because-
sickening structure that they don't even realize is eating at them. Like they're defending the right for flesh-eating bacteria to eat them until it literally eats their face off.
I mean, and what's sick too is I literally grew up in this toxic positivity environment. I mean, from when I was 13 to when I was almost 16.
A very vulnerable period of your life.
And
That was your
I
exposure.
didn't even realize how brainwashed I was that anything negative that happened in my life, my cat could die and I would be like, it's okay. It was their time to go.
They have to do that. I mean, paparazzi especially is very religious based from what I can
Yeah.
tell. It's even worse.
Yeah.
That has really amplified since the COVID.
Oh, yeah.
It has amplified tenfold, this crazy public preaching.
Because it's a Hail Mary is what it is.
I hope it is. I hope that's what it is and that it actually isn't sufficient. I swear to you, I want nothing more than people to be released from this and just able to take a minute and realize what the hell they've been participating in.
I know you guys aren't like religious at all, but like there are literally Bible verses that talk about Jesus like not wanting you to make it a performative thing, not making a spectacle out of your faith and all that stuff. And that's exactly exactly what they're doing.
Mhm.
I mean, every time I talk about religion with MLMs, like there's just so much hypocritical stuff going on, and it's like, do you even read that book? Do you read the Bible? Because Jesus isn't cool with what you just did.
I don't understand their Bible. That's not their Bible. And I said something shitty the other night. I'm like, did you write your own Bible in crayon? I haven't heard of that version.
The same can be said for just about any Christian, really. I mean, when they're in MLMs, it's like they do make it a performative thing.
And that's so offensive.
It's extremely offensive.
It has nothing to do with business. You can be a good person without shouting to the rooftops what your religion is, but you can't be a good person if you're constantly shouting to the rooftops about how good you are because of your religion.
Good people don't have to shout from the rooftops that they're good
They
people.
don't have to work that hard. They just behave in a kind and in an upright manner, and people appreciate it. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but no, let's just like make a fucking performance out of it. I had no idea that all the things that you're telling me about and that I've learned about recently are things that were happening in paparazzi. I just knew that these bitches are fucking brainwashed as shit. Like, look at these comments. Oh no. They're the only people who have ever threatened me with legal action. Like, I've never received cease and desist from anyone else, or even the threat of a cease and desist from anyone else. Like, it's literally just been paparazzi.
And I think it's amazing that they think that the legal system changes because they're just so special and they want it. Let's just call it poor choices.
I mean, especially with the video we're doing tomorrow night with Crazy
Oh,
Town.
yeah, that's
I
right.
tried to convince Savannah to come on, but I
know.
don't think she thinks she can control her face.
I very much may be able to.
She actually sent me a message. Like, I'm gonna literally pull this up. It's actually brainwashed crazy. I've loved you since I met you when you were 14 years old, and I love you just as much now. Your makeup's so pretty. I'm so proud of you.
Except
I'm so
for now,
proud
I'm going
of
to kill you.
for leaving paparazzi and selling all of your inventory like that, and now making your own business. You're amazing. I'm like,
I'm uncomfortable.
There's the love bombing. I don't know what she wanted out of you, but she wanted something.
Somebody that was on her team called me on the phone, and it's a girl that I know, and she's like, you would not believe this video that Patty just did. She was crying and carrying on about one of the dead consultants. One of the consultants who passed away was on her team, was a downline of hers. And then she's saying, it's terrible. I just loved her. I can't believe I didn't get to see her at convention because I arrived after she was gone. But, you know, we can't be sad about it because it was her time to go, or she's ad-libbing this to me, something like that. But we shouldn't be sad because it was her time to go. So I said something when we were doing our tea time, and she's disputing it and saying that I've lied. So I said, okay, I totally get that. If I misquoted you and that was not true, I said, is that what you said? And she goes, well, don't you have the video to prove it? I said, no, Patty. I said, I told you it was a phone call. I said, if I misremembered, I will be happy to speak a retraction. I will apologize if you did not say those things. Did you say those things? You have to bring me live to find out.
Wow.
She just wants a platform. I wasn't wrong. She's saying I lied because she wants this attention, because now everybody's jumping down our throats that we're liars and we're bullies, but it's not wrong. The other thing is she took the video down almost immediately. So no, I don't have video proof of it. So I'm just going to apologize and say, you're right, Patty. I don't have video proof of it. I didn't see it myself. It was something that someone told me. So if that's a mistake, I apologize. Would you like to talk about that more? Or if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine too. You want to talk about Temple? She told us, this is the disturbing thing. She told me she has a statement from the dead woman's daughter that she wants to read out loud. And I said, no, unless I have a release from the daughter that states you're their family's representative and you have permission to read this statement from them, I'm not letting you do that. And I haven't heard back from her yet.
I have the statement.
Because they're claiming that we're using the death of this woman to demonize paparazzi.
How about the death of like the however many others?
How about the other 15 people? Are they fair game? Like, I'm sorry, she isn't the only one that died.
Is it up to 15 now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there are a couple people who, you know, their families just don't want it out there. They don't want it. They just don't want to deal with it. So they haven't said it, but it is up to 15 people.
Wow. Yeah, last I heard was 12.
Yeah, it's 15 now. Somebody that had been on event for like 3 weeks finally succumbed.
Oh
So
my God.
it's not over. People are still sick. People are not well. People are not healing. People are still medicated. It's just gross. But I have to tell you, I'm so tired of being attacked all the time. I'm so tired. But you know what I mean? Like, you just get weary. Like, you can only take so much shit slinging, and you're like, nothing I'm saying is wrong, but you're just mad because I'm saying it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I deal with that on a daily basis too.
I know you know what I mean.
Oh.
I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to mention?
The time I got
But
assaulted.
she remembers.
The time I got assaulted at
Oh,
their
yeah,
event.
yeah.
I'm sorry, you
So-
what?
Back in 2018 at convention, I was 14. This was our first convention when she was going to rock the runway with her seatbeats. After that, there was a Tim McGraw concert on the last day of the convention.
They have a lot of concerts, right? They
Yeah.
bribe everybody with the fancy music.
So there was kind of a pit kind of thing.
It was just between the seats and the
Standing room.
stage, you could go
Just
up. We
a
were
little
allowed to walk right up to the stage. There was no security. Literally right up to the stage.
We went to go stand with our upline who went to go meet Tim McGraw earlier because she won a prize.
We're
just
trying to
pretty
tape the
much-
concert. We're just
pretty
minding
much
our own beeswax.
chilling, you know. I don't know much Tim McGraw songs.
She
I'm not
didn't know
really into
anything.
Country. I
I'm-
liked the
yeah.
concert. It was a good vibe.
I'm
so
an
far.
Indian outlaw. I was singing along.
And then
Yeah.
everyone around us starts getting shoved, and we're like, everyone's like screaming, like, "What the hell, lady? What's going on?" Suddenly, I just feel my
I get
hair.
shoved, and in front of me, my kid disappears to the floor.
Suddenly, I just feel my hair get torn down. It was in a high ponytail with the giant crown on top. She grabs my ponytail and tears me down to the ground, almost ripping literally ripping my hair out.
Why?
Because she wanted to get to the stage, and we were in her way.
And this was one of the top selling
One of the former
consultants
Z consultants from
and
another
the,
year.
and the Z model of last year.
Yeah.
So my mom turns around and goes,
Oh,
"What
I
are you
lost my shit."
doing?" And our little upline is like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" My mom goes, grabs her name tag.
Goes,
Who are you?
What?
Assaulting
You know, I'm
my
going to report
daughter."
you to compliance. What the
And she
hell is
goes-
wrong with
She
you?
goes, "Well, who the f- are you?" And she goes,
The motherfucking Tracy bitch.
I love it.
In all this kerfuffle, I'm going up to the paparazzi events coordination staff and saying, that woman over there just assaulted my child. I want the police called. I want this. They wouldn't do anything. So when we finally get a sheriff's deputy to come over who'd been there manning the count, really, they were only there to manage for the fire marshal. He said, well, she seems fine. If you want to press charges, I mean, we can press charges, but there's really not going to be any outcome to this because she's physically fine. And so I came back and I wrote it's the first note I ever wrote to compliance myself and said, this woman, I have her name. I have video evidence. She assaulted my kid. The event staff said, that's really not our department.
Wow.
She's still an active consultant to this day.
we sent it to compliance and reported her, and she was still
Nothing happened.
That's messed up.
We didn't have a positive attitude. She seemed happy as hell because she got to the front row.
The brother of the founder of the company came up to her and said,
What are you doing?
What are you
That's not
doing?
how we
This isn't how
act.
we
That's we
act
act to
here."
the paparazzi. Just calm down, ladies.
But
Calm
it's
down.
totally fine to assault minors.
"Yes."
Right. And that's what we're turning around like, do you even know what happened here? You're sticking your nose in it. You don't even know what happened. And my upline goes, I know who you are. You don't even know what's going on here. And I'm like, okay, I was standing up for my kid and you just got in the way of me trying to get this woman removed. She's a danger to me and everyone else. That was our first paparazzi event at convention. My kid got assaulted. I should have never gone back. I don't know. I just have had the most negative series of experiences, but at the time it's like microaggressions. They don't all add up to enough to just throw the towel in, especially when you're financially involved in it. So no matter how many bad things happen, you keep being told to brush it off. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And you want it to be fine because you've moved down this path and you've spent this money and you want to be successful. You see successful people around you. You're at the echelon where you think that you're mingling and brushing elbows with people who are doing very well, so you can also do well. You keep letting things go, let it go, let it go. When bad things happen, think about it differently, rearrange your perspective. If you think that this is a negative action, it's because you're thinking of it that way. Think about the positive attitude that could have happened, but think about it positively. And you want it to be okay because you spent a whole lot of money and you got a lot riding on it and you're hoping the gamble works out. We lost big. And I'm glad that we got out when we did and that we were not part of the COVID convention experience, but my heart breaks for the people who were, because they went there expecting to be taken care of because they were told they would have CDC guidelines followed, and that was not the case. And to me, that is worse than all the money I lost and all the brainwashing I suffered and all the wasted time and the friends that I alienated because they were like, girl, I don't want your $5 jewelry. Like, what is wrong with you? All the other projects I put on the back burner, time I lost with my family. I'm still here. I have my family.
And the fact that you even said, like, I don't even know if I was still in paparazzi, I don't know if I would have made the decision to go or not. Like, that in and of itself speaks to how fucking brainwashed these people are.
Yes.
The cult mentality, all of it. It is so damaging and dangerous.
Because they gave them poker chips at the event that said all in. Are you all in with paparazzi?
They clearly are.
You're all in, all right. You're all in the ground, 6 feet up.
It's fucking awful.
It is awful. And that's the worst part of all. Like, my experience with them was super negative. Would I ever encourage anyone to join that company? No, I would not. But on top of it being super negative, at this point, I consider them super negligent. And that's a whole nother level of bullshit and crazy that they're not being held accountable for. And that's the real reason that we have come out of retirement, so to speak, to even speak about them, because we have no dog in this hunt. I've been gone for 20 months. Doesn't seem like a long time, but it's almost as long as I was in there.
You could definitely just like up and just be like, I'm not getting involved. You totally could, but it's like, oh, people who have like a heart and soul and like have compassion for other people, you can't just stay silent about that.
If I went into the business to teach my daughter how to be a good business person, most of all, I want to teach my daughter how to be a good person. And I feel like if you have a platform and people listen to you, if you know that something wrong has been done, I feel morally obligated to talk about it. I feel morally, I mean, I don't have 1 billion followers. Maybe I got 300, but if they're going to listen, that's 300 more people than would have the information if I stayed silent. And that's really my whole goal. And even talking about any of this, because I come out of it looking like a dumbass. I'm not coming out of this looking like a genius. I got fired. I, was hundreds of thousands of dollars in the hole buying more than I sold, and lost tons of time with my kid whose heart was broken when we really got kicked out of this business we worked so hard for. My decision was poor. My outcome was terrible. It's embarrassing to think of how much time and money I wasted and just to have it all laughed off. It was horrible. I'm not going to be quiet just because I'm embarrassed. Call me names all you want. I can make more money. You can't make more time with your family when you're dead. There's no coming back from that. So thanks again for listening to our story.
Yeah.
The whole reason for doing this is if you think that something's wrong with paparazzi and no one ever gives you a different perspective, this is the different perspective. If you're open-minded to listening at all, please hear that there is another side to this, everything's rainbows. Oh, they got a rainbow challenge this week from their founders. Rainbow challenge. We're rainbow trolls. We're the trolls. So to get over the trolls, you need to sell a piece of jewelry of every color this week.
Wow.
So it's Rainbow Day. We're just
they'll
talking about rainbows.
recognize us as trolls, but they won't recognize the
The
people
are
that died
dead.
at their
Yeah,
convention.
they're clapping back at us. We're worth speaking about because we speak about them negatively, but the people who died praising them, they're not worth their time. Think about that for a second.
Priorities. That's exactly where their priorities are. Keeping up
Yeah, it's
appearances,
gross.
all that shit. It's
gross.
awful. What you guys are doing is so super brave. And you don't even have to be, you could totally just go on with your lives. So it's very commendable.
Yeah, you know what? Soon it's going to be too much.
They play dirty. Like,
Yeah.
they go after your parents.
All these attacks on us, our personal belief system, whether or not we're morally upstanding, whether we're angry, it doesn't matter. The facts are the facts. The fact is no one was talking about that at all. No one was talking about the fact that people were sick. All we wanted people to do was go get tested and stop spreading COVID. I'm tired of watching people I know die. It was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lost a 30-year-old friend to COVID when it first started.
That is so young.
Yeah.
I lost a friend who was 34. She was a nurse. She contracted COVID working on the floor of the hospital, taking care of COVID patients. And I also lost a really old friend of our family who was also my business mentor. She personally gave me my scholarship to law school. She was my mentor my whole life. And she was old and she died on a vent. COVID is terrible.
It's awful. And the fact that people aren't taking it seriously, it's just...
Yeah, purposefully exposing yourself to COVID I can't with this. That's why it just hurts me so much, that these people would still be alive if they just had a virtual convention.
Yeah. Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
they'd have caught somewhere else, but it wouldn't have been this widespread.
Yeah, no. And paparazzi wouldn't have gotten dragged down with them either. So
Right.
Stupid. They could have protected themselves from all this too, It was simple. Thank you both of you for talking to me.
No,
and
we appreciate you. Really. Thanks for talking with us.
take care. Have a good night. I'll talk
right,
to y'all
see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, let me know what you guys think. I really enjoyed talking to Tracy and Caroline. I think they're wonderful people, and it's really sad what situation they've gotten into into because of Paparazzi, and I hope that they can pull themselves out of it. They're very kind. Yeah, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to leave a like on this video as well. Now, it's time to get into thanking my patrons and my members. If Pop-Tart would move her body out of the way. Yep, thank you. These people are my financial supporters, and they get access to things like our private Discord server. We have a postcard club. I like to get videos out early to you guys when I can, and all that stuff. So, okay, everyone. Stop it. He saw his chance and he took it. If that all sounds good to you and you want to support this hurricane life of mine, you can go to patreon.com/Savannah Marie, or you can click the join button beneath this video. Whatever platform you feel most comfortable with, you can join on either of them. And with that being said, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Amanda Shannon, Elizabeth Wyatt, Nitty Dragon, Leanne, Molly Wasilewski, Raya Mew, Turd Ferguson, Alice W, Amanda Shannon, April Lindblom, Boris Geller, Casey Scraper, Katrina Rosemarick, Claire T, Danae Twitchell, Daniel Urena, E. Higgins, Erica Louder-Craddock, Jerry Duncan, Heidi Ha, Julia Wheeler, Kelly Creffield, Kim Cartwright, Laura Lynn Martin, Lizzie McQueen, Maddie Darley, Rachel McHenry, Samantha Jackson, Stephanie Hell, Tuesday the 13th, Lizzie Lyon, J. Marie, Tiffany Brust, Auntie Lou, Fallon Lowry, Sabrina Franklin, and Julia Nieberdowski. And to the rest of my wonderful supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. And even if you're not a financial supporter of mine and you made it to the end of this video, thank you. I appreciate you just being here in general because YouTube loves that too. Sorry about my snorty baby. He's got boogies, don't you? Thanks for all that you guys do. And keep making waves, babes. I'll smell you all later. Mommy Tsunami out.